Thanks, Peter. Can you hear me okay? It's hard to follow up the guy that kills death, but I'll do my best. And today's probably going to be your favorite presentation of all day. You know why? It's the last one. So you get to enjoy the evening after this. My name is Patrick Hiebert. I'm the CEO and founder of Autris, which is the company. It's traded on the stock market in the US, and we've created Veritas Villages that we're going to go through a bit today. Veritas Villages, really, I'm going to go through this. I know everybody wants to get going, so I'm going to go through it a little faster. Hopefully I'll be within my time frame here. We built Veritas Villages on the first philosophy. Stands for freedom, independence, resiliency, sustainability, and transparency. A lot of big words, but I think it probably resonates with this crowd. They're freedom-oriented people, libertarian, and that's exactly what these communities are for. We don't say you can't live in them if you're, radical leftist or something, but you're probably not going to enjoy it. So when we're, the best part of these communities is being able to say what you want to say, sit down and not have the political divisiveness and watch the sunset, have a beer or a glass of wine and talk about whatever you want to talk about. So why in Latin America? Well, currently we're only in Latin America, and that doesn't mean we're only going to stay in Latin America, but at this point we are. We have two communities in Panama, one in Nicaragua, and we just acquired a very large tract of land in Atenas in Costa Rica, which will be our largest community to date. We expect that'll be coming online probably around next August or so. Permitting should be done by then, and then we'll be able to start building the infrastructure and building homes. And the thing about Atenas that is really interesting is actually it's got the claim to fame of being National Geographic rated it as the best climate in the world. So what's really interesting about it is we got the last large tract of land in this very sought-after area, and there's actually 3 climates inside our own community. So you kind of pick your climate. If you like it at this temperature, you can be in this area. You like it here, you can like it there. So you get quite a choice within one community. It'll probably be over 500-ish homes in the community, but lots of green spaces, and it's got beautiful waterfalls and rivers. I mean, it's the idyllic Costa Rican place, and Costa Rica is one of the prettiest countries in the world, I think. So why Latin America? Well, it's got a very live and let live culture. I'm originally Canadian, and right now Canada is going very authoritarian and definitely the wrong direction. I was also in the software business and got taxed to death. I wish Jose could have killed that death. But it's, the percentages are 65, 70% at the end of the day that you're taxed. And so coming down to Latin America, Panama, for instance, pay a whopping 0% tax now. Canada's lucky on one way. Your taxation follows your residency, not your citizenship. So when I left Canada and dropped my residency, I stopped paying Canadian tax. But, this area is like one of the things that really spurred on. I've been involved in creating communities for about 2 decades now. So we've come at it from that direction, creating communities, and it's been an evolution. Like I didn't even realize how libertarian I was until COVID hit. I mean, that's probably a wake-up call for everybody. But when you take your freedoms away and you tell me I have to stay inside and you're shutting down the economy and I have to put a mask on, and, well, if I'm sitting in a restaurant, I have to put a mask on, but I can take it off, but if I stand up to go to the bathroom, I have to put it on. I mean, some of the rules were just absolutely ridiculous. In Canada, they had, hockey arenas were fine, but going to the gym was not. So it was just, the rules were ridiculous. So we decided we need to put these communities, and not just regular communities, we need to really base them on that first philosophy. And so we did, and we started making them a few years ago, and it's been an evolution. We learn new things all the time, and one of the movement away from political divisiveness is nice. Like I said, you're not censored. There's no cancel culture in these communities. You can say what you want to say. And the other thing too, the reasons why is it's nice to put communities in countries that want investment, and they're trying to attract you. I think Titus's book was talking about countries fighting for you as a citizen. Well, we kind of get that feeling now. And of course, the climate coming from Canada, Obviously, even for solar systems and like that, you need 1 billion panels. But here, near the equator, it's very efficient. It's a lot easier to be self-sustainable in these areas. So, one of the challenges that I think is really important about what we do as a group, you've seen a lot of communities here talked about. My sense is most of them come from a top-down perspective, where you go to the government and you're asking for, autonomy, self-governance, sovereignty in a way of your own in this piece of land that you want to control. My experience is most governments will tell you one of two things: no, or prove it. Like, show me where you've done this before, that this is going to attract a bunch of expats that are going to create businesses that are going to create jobs. And until I see that, I've heard 1,000 times that, you're going to build this beautiful community and it's going to do all this, and then it turns out to be a ghost town. So they don't want to hear that anymore. They've been burnt plenty of times, and so we literally took a step back and said, we have to prove it. We have to create the Veritas villages that are built on our philosophy, and then I can go back and say, okay, now we want to be able to do this. We want some autonomy in this area. We want to have our own police force. We want to, whatever, government as a service. But you need to have them first. So we work with Tipolis and Titus and Alex a lot on that. And, they have all the government expertise or governance expertise, and we have the know-how and the practicality of building and creating master plans and real communities to live in. So I think it's a great combination. So the reason I'm kind of speaking and helping with the free cities wherever I can, because ultimately these two things come together, we'll have that utopia of a place. Now, I admit that we don't have all the things we want in Veritas villages. We have 75 or 80% of them because we're in Latin America, because we are in a place that I can pay zero taxes, that I can have my own, use a police example, I can have my own security force on the community. But there was kind of weird things that we had to fight for. We're 100% off-grid. We have our own power, we have our own water, we have our own food in orchards, gardens, livestock. And so if another COVID hits, we can close the gate and we're sustainable and we're good. But in Panama, for instance, they had a rule that you had to be connected to the grid. I was like, I don't want your power. So they look at me like, what do you mean you don't want power? No, we have power. It's actually quite a bit more stable and way more reliable than yours. And I don't want to connect to your grid. So that took a while because we really wanted to be independent from, as a government, what's the thing you can take away from people that's going to make them compliant? Power and water. So those are the two things we definitely want to have on our own. And, it's easy to grow food in these climates. Everything grows all year round. I grew up in the prairies of Canada where you had a whopping 2 or 3 months to grow everything you needed for the rest of the year. And I thought that's how everybody lived. I mean, my parents had a garden in the backyard and we grew everything and had a pantry in our basement. It was cold, obviously, in winter in Canada, so everything stayed fine and we just ate that all year long. We hardly ever went to a grocery store. So I just thought that's how life worked. So I kind of like that idea. And the other thing about these communities, it's kind of like going back to my childhood. Kids can play. We have rivers that run through the communities and, catch butterflies and do all the fishing. And we have tilapia ponds and stuff like that. So it's just, kind of turning back the clock a little bit and having a normal life again where we can have, you can homeschool, but we're going to have, Mikkel Thorpe's expat money has a school system online. This is going to be their first brick and mortar school in our Panama Coronado property. And I'll go through these slides pretty quickly because just introducing some of the different Veritas villages that we have now. In Coronado, it's 10 minutes from the town of Coronado, which has, you got dozens of great beaches on the Pacific side. We're elevated at about 350 meters in the elevation, so it's a nicer climate. It's cooler. It's 5 degrees Celsius, roughly, whatever that is, 11-ish degrees Fahrenheit, cooler than down at the beach. So it's comfortable, but you can go there. There's great restaurants. Coronado was one of the first expat. There's Coronado and Boquete in Panama that are very, very popular expat places. So, the restaurants cater to expats. You're going to get nice places. You got movie theaters and malls and everything. So you have a normal life and you meet a lot of people, probably more people than you want to meet, to be honest, and they're from all over the world, which is nice, and so our communities have residents from all over the world. So this is the master plan, and that's some pictures from there. They've got some homes being built. Some of these are renderings, some of them are real. I'll go through this fairly quickly here. There's Veritas Village, Chiriquí. Chiriquí is actually a province of Panama as well, so this is also in Panama. It's closer to the Costa Rican border, very close to Boquete. Boquete is beautiful. If you've ever been to Panama, you've probably been to Boquete. It's kind of an expat magnet. But for me, I came from Vancouver Island in Canada, and it's rainy and cold. I didn't want to go to another place that was cold and rainy. So Boquete's higher up in the mountains, and it's very cool and comfortable for temperature. But we went a little lower in the same province. It's a little bit warmer. I mean, if you're going to come to a tropical country, you might as well be in a place that your pool stays warm enough to use and things like that. So that was the reason for that. We have a beautiful river that runs through the community, and it's close to everything. It's close to the town of La Concepcion, and it's near Boquete too, if you like that, but it's also near beaches. So it's kind of in a sweet spot in the middle. It's a very small community by our standards, about 30 homes, but it's one of the fun things about that place is we've designed the community orchards like a grocery store. It's actually the aisles, and we've trained the fruit, like the bananas, oranges, mangoes, whatever, to grow all along the edges. So you literally walk through this aisle and you pick your stuff off the trees. It's pretty cool. I like the concept. I hadn't seen that before, so it was neat for me. There's some more pictures of that. Nicaragua, we have Veritas Village, Playa Pacifica. This is one right on the beach. It's part of a larger community. The larger community has probably about 400-ish homes there right now, so however many people that adds up to be, maybe 1,000 or something like that on average. But it's a beautiful beachfront. For me, it's one of the prettiest beaches that there is. It's very private. We also have all the Veritas Village things, the community orchards and gardens that we're going there. When you're on the beach, you can't grow as much, so we had to pull the orchards and gardens more inland, but they're still easily walking distance and all within the greater community. So it's a beautiful spot. We have a large range of home models that you can pick from, or it's a freedom-oriented community. You can design your own home. There's a couple pictures there. That's a infinity pool at the restaurant. Beautiful sunsets. Every night's a different sunset. It's a spectacular place. Nicaragua is one of my favorite places. Just the people are so friendly. The country is beautiful. And it really stuck to its guns during COVID. It didn't do any mask mandates. It didn't do any vaccine mandates. It didn't shut down their economy. The president came out and said, "You're not children. I'm not your father. Treat yourself how you want," during COVID. And the businesses were free to say, "Oh yeah, if you come into our business, you have to wear a mask." But you're also free to choose not to go to that business. If it's a grocery store and they make you wear a mask and you didn't want to, you go to a different grocery store that doesn't make you wear a mask. So that's the way I think the government should have handled stuff, which they didn't, but Nicaragua did. So, in the beginning there was Sweden and Nicaragua that kind of took that approach, and Sweden capitulated and Nicaragua stuck to their guns. So I'm actually quite proud of the country. Again, there's some more pictures. There's some homes, like 3 or 4 bedroom homes right on the beach, and they're beautiful. And then we have these tiny homes, we call them, actually 2-bedroom tiny homes. Most tiny homes aren't 2-bedroom, they're usually 1, but really beautiful. These are more Spanish colonial. Some of the other communities, we have more modern styles, or like I said, you can choose to build what you want to build. Costa Rica is coming soon. It's pictures from the Costa Rican community. Like I said, it had the National Geographic call it the best climate in the world, so that sure helps the marketing. So that's good for us. But again, it's going to have a little bit bigger. It's actually 6 times the size and land mass of our other, and Coronado is the next largest community. But it's building towns. People always ask me, so when is it done? Like, when is your community done? So I don't know, when's a town, when's a city done? It just keeps going, right? So we usually try to acquire as much land around it, or an option to do so that we can expand. I mean, our Coronado property is basically sold out now, but we're working on the expansion of that as well. So I'm starting to get the cards here. So I will kind of wrap up. The Vote with Your Feet, freedom-oriented living. It's great. You can live with like-minded people in Veritas Village. It's pretty much like a group of us here, living in the community. generate your own power, our own water, our own food, like I mentioned. It's an entire Bitcoin economy. All the Autris as a company, our company will accept Bitcoin for buying your home site and your home. We mine Bitcoin. As far as I know, we're one of the few who are not only mining Bitcoin with solar power, excess solar power from your homes. Oh boy, I got the time is up. We use a DAO, and quadratic voting, which I find very interesting, but don't have time to explain right now. And any businesses within the community have to accept Bitcoin inside the community as well. You can accept US dollars or euros or whatever, but Bitcoin's got to be one of them. So we're promoting the Bitcoin side of things. So, and we have a Veritas Village Club where if you're a resident in one and you want to go, you're a resident in the Panama community and you want to go to Nicaragua for a week or something, you have access to all the amenities, kind of like, any kind of accommodations club. So that's what makes us a little bit unique too. It's not trying to tell you really got to live here. This is where you got to live. We're expanding as fast as we can. We're looking at Argentina next, I think, Mexico, Ecuador, Costa Rica we've already acquired. So, and they have a little bit of kind of theme to them. So in Argentina, we'll be probably in the Mendoza area where you can have a vineyard type of flavor to it. So you want to make your own wine. Our Costa Rica property used to be a coffee plantation, so we're going to leave quite a bit of coffee. There will be Veritas Village coffee and that kind of thing. So it's pretty interesting. That's it. If you were interested, you can contact us at freecities@veritasvillages.com. And happy to hear from you. Hope you had a great conference and appreciate everything that Peter and Danielle and Titus and everybody on the team has done and appreciate you having me here. Thanks. And I went over.
Nice. Thank you.
Questions in that time, but
oh, you want to take a question?
we can take questions if.
Yeah, do you want to take a question or two?
If we have time.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the cane.
Any questions? Yeah, Scott.
Do you pay commissions to realtors that give you deals down in the village?
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. No, we work with a lot of affiliates. Somebody here was asking me earlier. Well, we have a unique problem, and I love it. We can't create the communities and the inventory as fast as people demand it, which has never been in a business like that before. So there's a lot of you folks out there, by the way, that love freedom and like to live in communities like this and like to live with like-minded people. But normally in the businesses I've had in the past, you spend an exorbitant amount of time on sales and marketing. We don't. It seems the word of mouth seems to be getting around, and we spend most of our time finding the land, creating infrastructure, and building homes. So, Mark? Half an hour from the beach, half an hour from the airport in San Jose. So it's prime location, which is what makes Atenas such a nice area. It's at the elevation our property somewhere between 300 meters and 900 meters. So it's the reason why you get 3 different climate zones, temperate, tropical, everything in that one property. It's 140 hectares, so 350 acres. So it's a significant size. And it's literally considered, the primo spot in Costa Rica. So, it's too bright to see hands, so.
Yeah, just him. We get a microphone, right?
Are all the Veritas villages exclusively residential, or are there any that have, production facilities or any other type of economic activity going on?
We don't have any kind of factories or anything like that. I mean, there's businesses, you can have, beachwear shops and restaurants and coffee shops and that sort of thing, but nothing of, greater scale. But the people that are coming to them, we have it's unique for, one of the reasons that I'm excited about the time that we're in now, because we were told when we asked for governance is like, show me, right? Show me a community that works. And so now we're actually getting the government calling me and saying, hey, what would it take you guys to expand or to create another one or whatever? Like what kind of things do you want? Which is a nice switch from where we were a little while ago. And it's partly because of things like this, where one guy from Canada is moving down to one of the Panamanian communities and he creates snowmobile parts. So unusual to do that in Panama in the tropics, but you have the canal, so you can get all your stuff there. You have a 0% tax rate. You have inexpensive labor. and all those things that just went, well, paying enormous amounts of labor and tax in Canada, all that's going to get cut out. I can be way more profitable and more competitive. So the Panamanian government sees that and goes, well, this is a thing that would never have happened, right? So it gives us a little more leverage that way. I think I'm going to get the hook, right, Titus?
No, it's a last
Yeah, it's going to be 11 p.m. We're still standing here. I'm happy to answer questions, but I also know everybody probably wants to be done for the day. So thanks very much, everybody.